Today our topic is how to manage anger like a Stoic. Anger is a natural emotion, but it can also be one of the most destructive if we let it control us. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who believed in living a life of virtue and reason, had a lot to say about managing anger. They believed that anger comes from our own judgments and expectations, not from the outside world. This means that we have the power to control it, if we understand how. Let's explore how Stoic philosophy can help us manage anger and live a calmer, more thoughtful life. First, it's important to understand what anger is. Anger is a reaction to something we think is unfair, wrong, or harmful. When someone says or does something that upsets us, our first instinct is often to react with anger. But the Stoics teach us that anger is not caused by the event itself, but by our interpretation of the event. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might feel angry because you think they're being rude or dangerous. But the Stoics would say that the other driver's actions are not what made you angry. What made you angry was your belief that they should not have done that. This is a key idea in Stoicism. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. The Stoics believe that the only things we truly control are our own thoughts, choices, and action. Everything else, what other people do, what happens in the world, even our own bodies, is outside of our control. When we accept this, we can stop wasting energy on things we cannot change and focus on what we can. This is especially important when it comes to anger. If we try to control other people or events, we will always be frustrated and angry. But if we focus on controlling our own reactions, we can find peace. So how do we do this? The first step is to pause. When you feel anger rising, take a moment to breathe and think. The Stoics call this the pause between stimulus and response. This pause gives you time to consider whether your anger is justified and how you want to respond. It's easy to react immediately, but this often leads to regret. By pausing, you give yourself the chance to choose a better path. Next, ask yourself why you are angry. Is it because someone did something you didn't like? Is it because things didn't go as planned? The Stoics would say that your anger comes from your expectations. If you expect people to behave a certain way or life to go smoothly, you will often be disappointed. Instead, try to accept that people and life are not perfect. When you lower your expectations, you will be less likely to feel angry when things go wrong. Another Stoic technique is to remind yourself that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge they have. This doesn't mean that people are always right or that their actions are justified. But it does mean that they are acting based on their own understanding of the world. When someone does something that upsets you, try to see it from their perspective. Maybe they are stressed, tired, or unaware of how their actions affect you. Understanding this can help you feel less angry and more compassionate. The Stoics also believed in focusing on what is within your control. When you feel angry, ask yourself, can I change the situation? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, let it go. For example, if someone insults you, you cannot control their words, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to ignore the insult, respond calmly, or walk away. By focusing on your own actions, you take back your power and reduce your anger. Another important Stoic idea is to practice gratitude. When we are angry, we often focus on what is wrong in our lives. But if we take a moment to think about what we are grateful for, it can help us put things in perspective. For example, if you are angry because you had a bad day at work, try to think about the good things in your life, your health, your family, your home. Gratitude reminds us that even when things go wrong, there is still much to be thankful for. The Stoics also believed in preparing for difficulties. They called this Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This means thinking about the challenges you might face and how you will handle them. By imagining difficult situations in advance, you can prepare yourself to stay calm and rational when they happen. For example, if you know that a certain person often annoys you, think about how you will respond the next time they do something irritating. This preparation can help you stay in control of your emotions. Finally, the Stoics believed in the importance of self-reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to think about how you handled your emotions. Did you let anger control you? Did you respond in a way you are proud of? What could you have done differently? By reflecting on your actions, you can learn from your mistakes and improve over time. Managing anger is not easy, but with practice it is possible. The Stoics teach us that anger is a choice. We can choose to let it control us, or we can choose to respond with reason and virtue. By pausing, understanding the source of our anger, focusing on what we can control, practicing gratitude, preparing for challenges, and reflecting on our actions, we can learn to manage anger like a Stoic. Remember, the goal is not to never feel anger, but to handle it in a way that is healthy and constructive. Anger is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control your life. By following these Stoic principles, you can find peace and live a more thoughtful, fulfilling life.